Welcome to my new video. In my videos, you will not only find famous quotes and proverbs, but I will also explain their meaning. Because I wish that even after death, I can convey the explanation of these famous sayings to everyone. Please subscribe my channel to take this initiative of mine one step further. Without further delay, let the video begin. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Meaning of this quote is, be you. The world needs your unique strengths. Trying to be a clone of someone else, or to be someone you are expected to be, won't work. You are wonderfully made, and have a purpose only you can fulfill. You can't connect the dots looking forward, you can only connect them looking backward. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. This quote represents when you are in the middle of a difficult situation, or you're confused about your path, it's important to trust that eventually everything will connect. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. This quote represents, if your goal is to please everyone, you will always fall short. You will never make everyone happy. Listening to everyone's opinions about your life can be very discouraging, and it's important to not let others' judgments of your dreams and goals drown out your hope. Don't let your innermost spark, the passion that ignites you, die. If today were the last day of your life, would you want to do what you are about to do today? Sir Jobs said, he looked in the mirror every morning and asked himself that question, and whenever the answer was no for many days in a row, he knew he needed to make a change. Facing ourselves in the mirror and asking this question to ourselves can help us determine if what we're doing is truly important and whether your plans for the day actually line up with your priorities. I think the things you regret most in life are the things you didn't do. The meaning behind the quote, how many of us have jobs we hate? How many of us live our lives in misery because we're too scared to take risks? The greatest joy comes from living a life outside of our comfort zones, where we live vulnerably and authentically. We are called not to live sheltered lives, but to boldly live our purpose. Remembering that you are going to die is the best way, I know, to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose. Meaning of this quote, many of us spend our lives in discontent due to fear. Don't live little. Remember, your life is brief. Move past your fears and stand out. Sometimes when you innovate, you make mistakes. It is best to admit them quickly and get on with improving your other innovations. The meaning behind the quote, be humble enough to admit when mistakes are made and move forward to your next idea. My favorite things in life don't cost any money. It's really clear that the most precious resource we all have is time. Steve Jobs wants to tell us through these quote, we all have the same 24 hours in each day. Are you spending your time wisely? Innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower. Meaning of this quote is, the Encarta Dictionary defines innovation as a new idea or method. Are you generating new ideas or methods? You have the choice to live your life stagnantly, or as an innovator. Which will you choose? I think if you do something, and it turns out pretty good, then you should go do something else wonderful, not dwell on it for too long. Just figure out what's next. This quote says that, keep progressing forward. Your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking. Don't settle. As with all matters of the heart, you'll know when you find it. Steve Jobs wants to tell us through these quote, if you feel unfulfilled in your career, keep looking until you find what you love to do. You only live once. Make it count. Be a yardstick of quality. Some people aren't used to an environment where excellence is expected. Sir Jobs was known for having extremely high standards for himself and his employees at Apple. Sometimes this made him unpopular, and it caused conflict with other people he worked with. But he was always committed to delivering quality and maintaining a standard of excellence. I'm convinced that about half of what separates the successful entrepreneurs from the non-successful ones is pure perseverance. This quote represents being an entrepreneur is challenging, and it's easy to give up and move on to something else. But the biggest part of being successful is having the stamina to stick through the hard times without quitting. People think focus means saying yes to the thing you've got to focus on. It means saying no to the 100 other good ideas that there are. You have to pick carefully. The meaning behind the quote, we all have limited time and resources, so you can't say yes to everything. Sometimes, being great at one thing means refusing to entertain all the distractions that will pop up along the way. We're here to put a dent in the universe. Otherwise, why else even be here? This is one of Steve Jobs' most famous and inspiring quotes. At the end of the day, your goals and accomplishments are never about you. It's about the contribution you make to the world. Sir Jobs aims to bring you inspiration from leading respected experts. However, before making any business decision, you should consult a professional who can advise you based on your individual situation. No one wants to die. Even people who want to go to heaven don't want to die to get there. And yet death is the destination we all share. No one has ever escaped it. And that is as it should be, because death is very likely the single best invention of life. It is life's change agent. It clears out the old to make way for the new. The meaning behind the quote, Steve Jobs died in 2011 at 56. He battled cancer for almost 10 years. He died early, with the average person in the world lives to 72 years old. As the old saying reminds us, there's only two things certain in life: death and taxes. Jobs embraced death because that helped him maximize every day he lived. He focused on the positive and embraced the power of positive thinking. Have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary. This quote says that you have to trust that you already have the answers to the questions your heart asks itself. All that's left for you to do is to trust the process and have the courage to become what you want to be in life. Being the richest man in the cemetery doesn't matter to me. Going to bed at night, saying we've done something wonderful, that's what matters to me. Steve Jobs wants to tell us through these quote, and this is why you've turned to freelancing in the first place. Money can't buy happiness, and it certainly can't buy accomplishments that mean anything. This is your one and precious life, so spend it on something that matters to you. Stay hungry. Stay foolish. Steve Jobs wants to tell us through these quote, "There's always more to do and gain. Stay hungry for knowledge and more to learn. Stay foolish," meaning never consider oneself an expert, but a fool in order to learn more. Push yourself. Stay eager to learn, take risks, and keep trying to do what others say can't be done. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe the channel, stay motivated, share with your friends, and motivate others.